What if I told you that the tiny little seed sitting in your palm right now has the power to become a full-grown plant, but only if you stop making the one mistake almost every beginner makes in the first week? Most people buy the seeds, they buy the soil, they buy the pot, and then they wing it with a window sill and a prayer. And then they wonder why nothing grows. Today that changes. Welcome back to Earthly Gardening, the place where we grow smart and spend less. If you are new here, so glad you found us. This channel is built for real people who love growing things without draining their wallets. And if you have been here before, you already know we do not do fluff around here, we get straight into the good stuff. Today we are going all the way in on starting seeds indoors under lights, a complete guide from zero to sprout. Before we roll, do me one quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a video. It takes 2 seconds and it means you will never be left guessing when the next growing tip drops. Now let us get into it. Section 1, the problem most gardeners never talk about. Here is something nobody really sits down and tells you when you first get into gardening. The ground outside does not care about your excitement. It does not care that you went to the store, picked out 10 different seed packets, came home feeling like a farmer, and stuck everything in the soil. If the temperature is not right, if the season is not ready, those seeds will just sit there and do absolutely nothing. That is the quiet frustration that sends a lot of beginners walking away from gardening in their first year. And the saddest part is they did not fail because they lacked skill. They failed because nobody told them that starting seeds indoors under lights is actually the cheat code that experienced gardeners have been using for years. You are not behind the season. You are just about to get ahead of it. Section 2, Why Indoor Seed Starting is the Real Power Move. Think about this for a second. When you start seeds indoors, you are basically creating your own private spring inside your home while it is still cold and gray outside. You are giving your plants a head start of 4 to 8 weeks before the ground is even ready to receive them. That means by the time your neighbors are just putting seeds in the dirt, you already have strong healthy seedlings ready to go into the ground. Your tomatoes are already knee-high. Your peppers already have their first real leaves. Your growing season just got longer without you doing anything extra. And the lights part, that is where it gets really interesting. Natural window light sounds like it should be enough, but here is the honest truth. A window in late winter or early spring is giving your seedlings maybe 4 to 6 hours of weak indirect light. That is not enough. Seedlings need strong consistent light for 14 to 16 hours a day to grow properly. Without it they stretch out thin and tall, reaching for light they are not getting. Gardeners call this legginess, and it makes for weak plants. A simple grow light fixes all of that. And you do not need to spend a fortune to get one that works. Section 3, What you actually need to get started. Let us keep this very simple because the internet loves to overcomplicate this part. First thing, your seeds. Start with varieties that actually benefit from indoor starting. Tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, celery and flowers like petunias and snapdragons all do really well when started indoors. Beans, carrots, cucumbers and squash do not love being transplanted, so those are better started directly outside. Read your seed packet and it will usually tell you. Second thing, your containers. You do not need to buy fancy seed trays right away. Small plastic cups with a hole poked in the bottom work. Egg cartons work for very small seeds. Old yogurt containers work. The goal is something that holds soil, has drainage and is not too deep. Seedlings do not need deep containers in the beginning. Third thing, your growing mix. Do not use regular garden soil for this. It is too heavy and it compacts too much in small containers. What you want is a seed starting mix. It is light, it drains well and it holds just enough moisture to keep things going without drowning your seeds. You can find it at any garden center and it is not expensive. Fourth thing, your light. A simple LED grow light with a full spectrum setting is all you need. You do not need the most expensive one on the shelf. Look for something that covers the size of your tray and can be adjusted in height. Many good options are available for under $30 and they will serve you for multiple growing seasons. Fifth thing, a way to track moisture. Your finger is actually your best tool here. Stick it about an inch into the soil. If it feels dry, water. If it still feels damp, leave it alone. Overwatering is actually the #1 reason seedlings die indoors, and most people never realize they are doing it. Real quick, if this is already making sense and you are feeling like you can actually do this, drop a seedling emoji in the comments right now. I want to see how many of you are planning to start seeds indoors this season. And if you have not liked the video yet, go ahead and do that now, because we are just getting to the part where things really start to come together. Section 4. The step-by-step process of actually doing it. Alright, so now that you have everything gathered, here is how you actually move through the process without second-guessing yourself. Step 1. Check your last frost date. This is the most important piece of timing information you will ever need as a gardener. Your last frost date is basically the last day in spring when frost is likely to hit your area. You count backward from that date to figure out when to start your seeds indoors. Most seed packets will say something like start indoors 6 to 8 weeks before last frost. Google your location and last frost date and you will have your answer in 30 seconds. Step 2. Fill your containers with seed starting mix. Do not pack it down hard. Just fill it loosely to about ½ inch from the top and give it a gentle press so it is not fluffy but not compact either. Then water it lightly before you put any seeds in. You want the mix to be moist but not soaking wet. If you squeeze a handful and water drips out, it is too wet. Step 3. Plant your seeds at the right depth. A general rule that works for most seeds is to plant them at a depth of about twice their size. So a small seed goes in very shallow, just barely covered. A larger seed goes in a little deeper. Again, your seed packet will have the exact number, but if you follow that twice the seed size rule you will rarely go wrong. Step 4. Cover your trays and wait. Most seeds germinate faster when there is warmth and humidity around them. You can cover your trays with a plastic dome or even just stretch plastic wrap loosely over the top. This traps warmth and moisture and creates a little mini greenhouse effect. Place your trays somewhere warm. The top of a refrigerator works surprisingly well because it gives off gentle bottom heat. Soil temperature between 65 and 75 degrees is ideal for most vegetable seeds. Step 5. Turn the lights on as soon as you see sprouts. The moment you see the first little green pushing up through the soil, remove the cover and get those lights on immediately. Set your light timer to give your seedlings 14 to 16 hours of light per day. Keep the light close, about 2 to 4 inches above the tops of the seedlings. As they grow taller, raise the light to maintain that distance. If the light is too far away, the seedlings will stretch toward it and become leggy and weak. Step 6. Water carefully and consistently. Bottom watering is honestly one of the best methods for seedlings. You pour water into the tray underneath your containers and let the soil soak it up from the bottom. This encourages the roots to grow downward, searching for water, which makes stronger plants. It also keeps the top layer of soil from staying wet all the time, which reduces the chance of a fungal problem called damping off. Damping off is when your seedlings suddenly collapse and die at the soil line, and it is almost always caused by too much moisture at the surface. Step 7. Feed your seedlings at the right time. Seed starting mix does not have a lot of nutrients in it because seeds carry their own food for the first stage of growth. But once your seedling has its first set of true leaves, which are the second set of leaves that appear after the initial tiny round ones called cotyledons, that is when you start giving it a diluted liquid fertilizer. Use it at half the recommended strength once a week and your plants will reward you. Section 5. The hardening off step that most people skip and regret. This is the step that separates the gardeners who have great results from the ones who cannot figure out why their plants fell apart after transplanting. Hardening off simply means getting your indoor-grown seedlings used to the outside world gradually. Think about it this way. Your seedlings have been living in a controlled, comfortable environment with stable temperature, stable humidity, and artificial light. The moment you take them outside, they face wind, direct sun, temperature swings, and everything else nature throws around. Without preparation, that shock can set your plants back by weeks or even kill them completely. Here is how you harden off properly. About 1 to 2 weeks before your last frost date, start setting your seedlings outside for short periods. Start with just 1 hour in a shaded spot on a calm day. Then bring them back in. The next day do 2 hours. Gradually increase the time and the amount of direct sun they receive over 7 to 10 days. By the end of that period, they should be spending full days outside and only coming in at night if temperatures are still dropping low. After that, they are ready for the ground and they will barely flinch at the transition. Section 6, Budget Tips, because this is earthly gardening and we do not waste money. You knew this part was coming. Reuse containers every season. Wash them with a mild soap and water solution between uses and they will last for years. Buying new trays every year is an unnecessary expense. Make your own seed starting mix if you want to stretch your budget even further. A simple mix of equal parts peat moss or coconut coir, perlite, and a small amount of compost works extremely well and costs far less than buying pre-made mix in small bags. Shop for grow lights after the growing season ends. Prices drop significantly in late summer and fall when demand goes down. Buy then and store for next year. Save your own seeds from the vegetables and flowers you grow this season. Many plants produce seeds that you can dry, store and use the following year at zero cost. Label everything. This sounds simple, but unlabeled seedlings lead to guessing games that waste time and energy. A piece of masking tape and a marker on each container is all it takes. And that right there is your complete guide to starting seeds indoors under lights. From understanding why it matters to the exact steps to follow, the hardening off process most people skip, and the budget-friendly ways to do all of it without spending more than you need to. If you made it to this point, honestly, that tells me you are serious about your garden this season, and I respect that. Go ahead and save this video so you can come back to it when you are ready to start. Share it with someone in your life who is always complaining that nothing grows for them. And if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments below. I read every single one. Subscribe to Earthly Gardening if you have not already. We drop practical, honest gardening content every week, built for real gardeners who want real results without the real expensive price tag. Now go start those seeds. Your future garden is already waiting.